with your Knicks, what's a realistic hope for fans over the next few days? What could potentially land at Madison Square Garden this year?
I think to me, they should try and keep Derrick Rose. You should try to go out and get somebody like Spencer Dinwiddie. You should, get a guy like Mitchell Robinson signed long term. He was hurt last year. I think he would have made a huge difference in the Atlanta series. I think the Knicks would have been good to at least win another game or two if he were playing in that series, because he is a 7-foot shot blocker, and that would have caused some problems for Atlanta in the interior, not just in terms of Clint Capella and the alley-oops, or John Collins and some of the things that he was doing, but also some of those floaters in the lane that Trae Young was throwing. I think you would have seen him a bit extended from the basket if Mitchell Robinson was in that middle. You really didn't have anybody but Nerlens Noel, who's not that formidable, let's just be real, because of his lack of girth and what have you. And so I think that if you're the New York Knicks, you got to crawl before you walk. They crawled last year. You crawl a little bit more now. You don't mortgage the farm to go out there and get a marquee number two. The only way you do that is if you get somebody like a Damian Lillard. I'm here to tell you that Damian Lillard, who is a superstar in this league, I think the best thing other than Steph Curry, to be quite honest with you, as a shooting point guard, Damian Lillard really doesn't want to leave Portland, but he's dissatisfied with the way things are. He's resigned himself to the fact that they're going to be what they are because you're not going to be able to get but so many folks to come to the Pacific Northwest. I'm here to tell you, you had a lot of people throwing out the Lakers and the Clippers and all of this other stuff. If Damian Lillard were to ever want to leave Portland, his number one choice would be the New York Knicks. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not guessing. It would be the New York Knicks. That doesn't mean that's what he's going to demand. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen because, again, his priority is to stay in Portland. But if you're the New York Knicks and you talk about mortgaging the farm, meaning giving up some of your young players or some picks, that's who you do it for. You don't do it for anybody else other than a superstar of his caliber. And I don't think the Knicks are going to do that. So because of that, you go to route of Spencer Dinwiddie, you re-sign some of the guys that you do, and you make sure that you don't pay Julius Randle like he's the number one. I don't like taking money out of guys' pockets. Yeah. I like Julius Randle a lot. He's the most improved player. He got my vote for that award. He deserves it. But come playoff time, he showed his lack of ambidextrous skills, how he's a one-armed bandit, and that he's severely limited. So he's not a number one. He might not even be a number two. He's definitely an elite number three option, a serviceable to decent number two option, definitely not a number one option. So you give him a 4-year extension at about $106 to $110 million and call it a day. And if he demands more than that, you roll the dice and be prepared to move on.
Well, when you talk about Damian Lillard, do you think it's going to come maybe during the trade deadline? He's going to give Chauncey Billups in Portland an opportunity to put some pieces around him. And out there, what can make potentially, him happy out there? I don't think DeMar DeRozan would make him happy. They're probably going to lose Nurkic or Carmelo. So how do they put a team around Dame out there to make him happy?
Well, number one, if they lose Carmelo Anthony, it's going to be to the Los Angeles Lakers. That's right. Where Carmelo Anthony's going to end up going from what I'm hearing. If indeed he departs from Portland, he'll be a Los Angeles Laker. So let's get that out the way. Number two, Nurkic and others might end up staying. I think that whatever move Damian Lillard is going to make, it's going to be before the season. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to transpire in the middle of the year. I think Damian Lillard, if indeed he finds himself insisting on getting out of Portland, he's going to want to do it before the season. And that's why we'll need to keep our eyes on what's transpiring. He hasn't made any decisions. He's been preoccupied with Team USA playing Olympic basketball in Tokyo. But once he gets back, he's definitely going to address that situation with the fervor that it deserves, from what I'm being told. And at that particular moment in time, we'll know definitively what he wants done. Now, just because he wants it done doesn't mean it's going to get done. He's got about 4 years and $176 million left on his deal, and Neil O'Shea and the Portland Trailblazers don't have to capitulate to his demands, whatever they may be. But he'll make a decision as to what he definitively wants as it pertains to Portland, probably once he gets back from Tokyo.
Stephen A. Smith with us, joining us on the Goodyear Hotline. Chris Carlin, Bart Scott on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus. I just want to go back to what you alluded to there with the Knicks real quick, Stephen A. And you said they wouldn't do it Is it the thought that they don't want to give up all of those assets right now to go get Dame Lillard if that was available to them?
No.
Yeah.
That's not what I said. I said they wouldn't do
That's why
it
I'm
for
asking
anyone other than a superstar.
Gotcha.
You see, for a superstar of his caliber, hell yeah, they do it.
Yeah.
And unless they want us protesting in the street, hell yeah, they do it. Okay, but you're not doing it. You're not compromising what you're building in terms of cap space and accumulating draft picks and improving incrementally to go out there and get the likes of a Kyle Lowry or somebody like that. You're not going to do those kind of things. But to get a superstar the caliber of Damian Lillard, who's going on 32 years of age and has at least, 6 to 7 years left in this league, hell yeah, you do it for somebody like him.
Steven, I only been in New York for maybe like 9 years, but I'm used to the Knicks having last pick of the star, right? So they bottom feed a little bit. So I'm trying to look at some creative ways to get a superstar because every year I've been here, they've been saying, hey, they're rumored to this guy, that guy, Kevin Durant, Irving, LeBron James, and none of it ever comes true. So would you think that maybe out in OKC, Kemba Walker, that maybe if they can give up some picks for Kemba, that maybe OKC will take some of that money back and pay part of that contract?
I can assure you Oklahoma City would take it, but why would you want to do that? Kemba Walker can play, but over the last couple of years, he's had knee issues. And because he has knee issues, it's compromised his ability to be the kind of star that we know he can be, which is why he's no longer in Boston. So I don't think you do that. That's number one. Number two, I would say to you, and it's hard for me to say this, at least once upon a time it was, Bart, but these are not the same old Knicks.
Yeah.
And it's about time that we give them a little credit.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.